Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real News Talk Show. I am your Real News host, and I'm coming to you to talk about the arrest warrants for the murder of Joshua Brown. Remember, Joshua Brown was a young man that was one of the key witnesses for the Guyger case. Remember that? Well, on one of my videos, I did say that the police department had nothing to do with that. I did say that on my videos. And I also said that these young men saw a prime opportunity to make their move. They have one in custody already. And the Dallas police says that one man is in custody and they're searching for two others. And what they say, it was a drug deal that gone bad. Many friends I talked to, and I told them I think it was drugs. I even told my sister that. I said, I don't think it's the Dallas Police Department. I really don't, because it was just too much going around that Guyger case. So I just knew that it wasn't the Dallas Police Department, because Dallas police had enough on them and they were not going to bring any more attention to the Dallas Police Department when they're trying to clean up. After listening to the chief of police of Dallas, she was saying they're trying to clean up whatever it is that department needs to do after listening to the Guyger trial. So the thing of it is he was in an area, he was shot in some apartments similar, near the South Side apartments. It was like in the 4600 block of Cedar Springs Road on Friday night. The 28-year-old man, he was Botham Jean's neighbor, and we all know that he was in an apartment, and he had testified what he heard about the night of the murder. But I noticed when he was on trial, he wasn't, I even told my sister, I said he had a cry like, it wasn't a cry about the case, and it wasn't a cry about Botham John. And you know why I say that? Because he really didn't know Botham John. He had just met him that morning. I even told my sister that. I can't wait to call her and let her know what I said was right, because I told her, I don't know why he would be crying for Botham John. He don't even know Botham John. And then some people say, well, he could be crying because, even a girlfriend of mine, he could be crying because of the fact, how people just cry in sympathy of something, kind of like they cried with the Guyger trial, and those people said they cried and they couldn't give her the time that, even though she was convicted of the murder of the girl, the black juror. I just couldn't do it. Some people just get sympathetic and cry. But this cry that this young man had, I could tell on the stands, it was something else eating at him. Matter of fact, he really didn't want to be there, because did you guys see what he had on? He had on shorts. He had on a t-shirt. He barely threw himself there. He really didn't want to be there. And when they kept asking him about, well, what do? It was like, I do this and I do that and I do this and I have R&B and I'm going to open up some more in LA. And, and even that told me, how could you do all that as a young man, having all these different businesses? I knew it was drug related. I already knew that. I feel so sorry for his family. I really, really do. And that he was killed, they found him right there at the apartments. Please click like, share, and subscribe, because I told you I was going to come back with some more of Real News Talk Show. I'm just the real deal. I'm just telling it like it is. And that's someone texting me now saying that, about his cry. I'm texting her now. I'm telling her, remember I told you about the cry? Yep. So they're searching for two other suspects, and they're going to get him. The third one, the third one is in custody. And they gave that third one, how when someone gets caught, they're going to tell, because they don't want their time, especially if they wasn't the shooter. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to get time, so they're going to snitch. If you do wrong with anybody, somebody's going to tell. And it was all because of drugs, and they drove all the way from New Orleans, from Louisiana, some part of Louisiana. I'm not sure what part it was, but that is really, really something. I'm telling my girlfriend in California, I told her that I'm reading it now. Yeah, she was saying, you were right, you were right, you were right. So, the arrest affidavit, they said was contracted by the sheriff's deputy in Louisiana who had received a tip. Wow. The tipster said that the trio were coming to Dallas with a plan to rob him. Oh my God. I wonder why they didn't catch that before, you know. The tip said they were coming to Dallas with a plan to rob Brown because evidently they knew Brown had the drugs. And oftentimes if you have drugs and you're dealing with 3 people, he should have known he was going to get robbed. And they said all through, it was Alexandria, Louisiana. They all had traveled from Alexandria, Louisiana to buy the drugs from him on Friday. When they arrived, a physical altercation happened between Green and Brown, according to Jacarius. And that, oh wow. And Brown, I think Brown shot one of the guys once in the chest. And then he was turned around and shot twice by Green in the lower body. Wow, it's so confusing here. Oh, wow. Okay, so I guess Green shot Brown, and then Brown turned around and he shot, oh, wow. Brown was shot twice by Green in the lower body, but Brown had shot Jacarius once in the chest, from what I'm reading. Wow. So Green took the gun and Brown's backpack, the police said, and fled the scene as Mitchell drove away. And so they was at Promise Hospital. It's a private long-term acute care facility is where the police say Michael took his wounded nephew. Oh my God, it was his blood. Ooh, wow. See how, I can't believe it. It was his blood. Wow. His own nephew. He took his wounded nephew. Now, both of them are going to spend time in jail for the murder of this young man. Took his nephew to the hospital. Wow. But see, now Brown had to shoot because he felt like they was going to rob him. And in fact, it probably had to happen in order for them to solve this case. You see what I'm saying? Had he not shot him, and had they gotten to him first and shot him, then they would still be looking for the suspects. That's what I'm trying to say. Wow. So the patrol officers were called out, and they had a conversation with the now fugitive. Oh, the guy is now a fugitive, but they had talked to him before at the hospital, I guess. Wow. Oh. Yeah, when he got out of the hospital, then he ran. He said they attempted to buy some weed from an unknown individual and attempted to rob them. The suspect shot Jacarius and provided officers a name of Demon Martin. Jacarius was taken to Parkland Hospital where he remains for treatment and is in police custody. So the one that was taken to the hospital, the other boy's nephew, is the one that's doing all the talking now. He's been shot, and now he's being convicted of murder, and so he's going to jail. Wow. He said Michael was claiming to be a victim. He was questioned but not arrested. So the police detectives are in Louisiana searching for him in Green along the U.S. Marshals in Texas and Louisiana. So I guess this was the other person, Michael, claiming to be a victim. Wow. So they have the warrant out for the arrest, and they found 12 pounds of marijuana in Brown's apartment. So he was selling weed, and 149 grams of THC cartridges and $4,157 in cash. I just picked up something with that young man. He was a handsome young man. He was a very educated young man. He was smart, but I picked up that when they asked him about his jobs, and then he was like, well, I got R&B here, I got this, and I got one in LA, and I got this, that, and the other, and this, that. I knew right then. Young man. And then when he came to court in the shorts, I said, something is wrong. This young man looks like something is riding him, And when he cried, you guys, and put his head down on that table, I said, it's something wrong. Because he really didn't know him. He told them, people, I need a moment. Maybe he was thinking about that transaction and he knew he had to deal with these people. He probably was thinking about, I don't want to deal with them by myself. But when you're doing drug transactions, other people that's really not into selling drugs, they don't want to be a part of it. So he knew he had to go and face these 3 guys by himself. It was something riding this young man, if you go back and look at it. And the way he was dressed, he threw himself in court. And then someone said, well, he didn't have to go. My girlfriend had just texted me and told me I was right in California. She says, well, Joshua Brown didn't have to go to court. I said, yes, he didn't have to go, but since he agreed to go, he should have looked appropriate like all of the other people. I said, there's something wrong with that story. And it all panned out. It is what it is. I pray for his family. I really do. I feel so sorry. He was such a nice looking young man, and I heard that he had a wife over in France and she couldn't come over here to go to his funeral because she don't have her visa or whatever it is or whatever. Oh, that's so sad that she can't come and be with her loving husband that she loved. Wow. So there were a lot of local leaders saying that that his death was tied to Amber Guyger's. I knew that. I knew not. I knew that it was not tied to Amber Guyger. I said that somebody was going to come in at a time because of all this stuff around Amber Guyger and use that as a prime time to do what they needed to do. That's what I said. This is real news talk show, and I'm not trying to put no icing on the cake. When I was talking about the Amber Guyger case, I was talking about her case, but now I'm talking about this case with Joshua Brown. I knew that it was not tied to the Amber Guyger case because of the fact that he did not look appropriate that day to me, and I picked up some type of energy in his demeanor when he broke down and cried. He had just met Botham Jean that day. I was just putting all the lines together, and it just didn't add up with the police killing him, and especially when the Dallas Police Department was already on the line for things they didn't do. I don't think the Dallas Police Department would have shot him around that time or did anything. They're trying to keep a clean record and trying to clean up the record from what was said in that courtroom, because if you Google up the chief of police in Dallas, she said that whatever it was that was on that stand and all that negative she heard about her department, that's going to be cleaned up. So I knew that they didn't do this. They did not do this. They didn't want to open up a can of worms. And what other police wants to go to jail like Amber Guyger at this time? None. Not unless they really have to. They're not going to put themselves in that position right now with all of this stuff surrounding the Dallas Police Department. And so now everybody is saying, wow, that's what really happened. And so it's what I already knew. And so the chief of police held a press conference last week, implicated her own department, not in this murder obviously, but she said that there's no corruption that was revealed during the trial, that she would have to have internal affairs investigation to look at that. And she said she just going to do her job. She's going to make sure that she's going to do the right thing and she wants the family to restore trust with the community. She wants people to restore trust with the police department, not fight against each other, not the police. Maybe if the police can have meetings with the gangsters and just try to come together with people, maybe everything will be better. But she really has a hard job. I'm telling you that. It's really something. But again, you guys, they have a suspect in custody for the murder of Joshua Brown. It was drug related, as I said. The guys drove down from Alexandria, Louisiana. I think 2 of them were relatives because one drove his nephew to the hospital, which is when the police went to the hospital and talked to him. He made it like he was a victim and he got shot. And so they didn't pursue it because they felt like he was a victim. But later on, when they got a tip, someone from Louisiana said that 3 men was coming to Dallas and they were going to attempt to rob him. And you know why they were going to attempt to rob him? I'm quite sure Joshua Brown did transactions with them in the past. The reason they didn't do it at that time because they found the prime time after the Amber Guyger case so that it wouldn't look like it would be them. It looked like it would be the police. And I knew that that was the case. So I'm so happy they found them. I'm so sad for the Brown family, but I am happy they got the guys that killed him off of the streets. However, if he shot the guy first, then it's going to be like he say, she say, because if Joshua Brown shot the guy first and he's not here to defend himself, then of course they're going to say they're the victim, just like they're saying. One of them, Michael, is saying, because Joshua Brown, just like Botham Jean, is not here to defend himself. So now it's up to the law again to do their job, and let's see what they're going to do in this case. Everybody's saying, well, they gave her a shorter sentence, and see what they're going to give these guys from Joshua Brown's death. You see, these guys might get a light sentence because of the fact one was shot, and they don't have the drugs on them no more. The cops don't have their drugs. So the cops can't, everything has to be proven in the court of law. He say, she say, it's just not going to get it. It has to be evidence to prove it, solid evidence. It can't be no fake evidence. It's got to be solid evidence to prove that they were actually going to rob him. But if they see that he shot them first, then they can't ask him why. You see what I'm saying? So you guys, with that, what do you think about this? Did you guys think that it was something to do with the police department, or do you feel like I feel like it was just drugs or something? Because that's what I felt in the beginning. And this is Real News Talk, and I felt that, even though I feel so sorry for the mother. But again, when Joshua Brown was on the stand saying he had all these, but he kind of fumbled a little bit when they asked him, what do you do now? What you was in trouble once with the law with drugs. When they said that word drugs, I knew right then that it wasn't the police. It was something else. And this was a prime opportunity for that to happen, because those people feel like, well, he's already been up there testifying for that and this and that. I could tell he really didn't want to be there. Look at how Joshua was dressed in shorts, a t-shirt, and I hadn't seen anything like that when someone go to court. It's like he kind of threw himself there because he had to be there. He admitted to being there. He wanted to be there, but he did not know Botham Jean long enough to be crying like he was doing, and he had his head down like this. And I said that. So I'm sorry for the loss of Joshua Brown. And so now everybody's going to see if justice is going to be done for his death. However, if that guy says self-defense, then they possibly going to get off light. They really are. Because they can't prove Joshua's dead. How are they going to prove that those guys came from Louisiana to rob them, even though someone said they were? People talk all the time saying they said this, they said that, they said this, they said that. But it has to be proven in order for those guys to get the proper sentence that they deserve. Other than that, if there's no evidence, then they probably won't get hardly any time, unless, because the other guy, Michael, somebody said they were victims, like he was going to shoot them. Even though we know that if they went to buy drugs from him, all he wanted was the money, unless they're going to say that he tried to rob them. You know what I'm saying? They could say, it's like he say, she say. That's how it is. They're going to say, well, he was going to rob us because he knew we had money, even though the people said these people went there to rob him because he had the drugs. This stuff is crazy. But I wanted to bring you that Real News Talk, and don't forget, click like, share, and subscribe so I can come back with some more news just for you. Click like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much for tuning in to Real News Talk. Bye.